Ariel's Bookshelf. I'm Ariel Roshi, and today I'm going to be interviewing Susan Ross. And I have the books, and I have the questions, and I have some amazing time to do this. See you later. Bye. So, can you start by introducing yourself and telling us a bit more about your background and what inspired you to become a writer?
I am Susan Ross, and I used to be a teacher and a storyteller, and now I'm a children's author.
That sounds wonderful and really nice. So then what inspired you to write Dogs Don't Go to School and Drat That Cat?
Well, I like joking, as you know, and when I used to walk my dog, I would tell the children on the way to school, "Can Dewey go to school with you?" No. Well, what if she goes in your backpack? No. It just wasn't very nice. So I decided to write this book, Dogs Don't Go to School, where Abby does go to school.
If Abby could transport into the book, I think she would be very happy about that.
I think so too.
Especially about the cheese and salami sandwiches.
I know, she loves those. She loves it. And did you notice in the picture that Jilly, who is actually my granddaughter, is talking to her grandmother?
That's exactly, yeah, I know. My sister pointed that out and she said, I like her pink phone.
Yes, it's a special phone. You can only call 3 numbers on it. It's for children.
Well, that's actually pretty cool.
I think so. And then I wrote Drat That Cat. Do you know why?
Because you got a cat named Tabitha?
No, I actually have a cat named Theo, but I needed it to be a girl, so I changed his name to Tabitha. And you know what? There were strays. I was finding strays on the street, and then I'd adopt them or I'd get them adopted. And I got so angry that I wrote Drat That Cat. And here it shows you from one cat how you get all these cats in a really short time. And
so from one cat, they have 4 kittens, and those 4 kittens have a bunch of different cats?
Yes. And then those have more. And in only less than 2 years, you have all these cats that can be on the street. So it's really important to spay and neuter your pets. That's why I wrote this
book. Okay.
So, notice they have crafts at the end. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, in the end, they were the cat and dog crafts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Those are actually pretty cool because then you could have your own mini pets.
Exactly.
And I can see you made your own in a little doghouse for Abby.
That's right.
It's very nice and cute. And so, how did you come up with the titles Dogs Don't Go to School and Drat That Cat?
Well, Dogs Don't Go to School was because dogs shouldn't go to school, but in this case they do. And Drat That Cat was it rhymed very nicely.
So then it says actually dogs do go to school in that tiny little area.
That's right. As in this case, dogs do go to school.
So what inspired the creation of the character Miss Patience, and is there a particular reason for her name choice?
Miss Patience is actually based on my illustrator. So my illustrator looked like that.
Well, that's actually kind of cool. I can see the resemblance.
Exactly. And then I called her Miss Patience because Miss Patience
have a lot of patience with Abby.
And a lot of teachers have a lot of patience with students. And then I had Miss Patience was running out of patience. And I thought that was pretty funny.
I can see it over here. Miss Patience was losing her patience.
Yes.
That was actually pretty funny. So then, have you ever brought a pet or another animal to your school?
When my daughter went to school, you were not supposed to bring dogs on the schoolyard. But my little dog, Sophie, came for a walk with me. So I had a baby Snuggly, and I put her in my baby Snuggly, and I put a bonnet on her head. And the children would say, "That's a dog." And I say, "No, that's my baby Sophie." And I snuck her in the schoolyard.
That's cool. That's actually pretty creative.
I had to take her with me.
I think that the most important thing with your pets is to let them know that they can trust you.
Yes, absolutely right. You're
Thank
absolutely
you. Can you share the idea for the pirate themed water park sorta in Dogs Don't
well.
Go to School?
I can't show the idea because I can't make my screen do what I want it to do. So here is the boat. And the way I found it was I was searching on Google for different kinds of playgrounds.
Okay. Yeah.
And I found a pirate ship and I thought, that's so cool. Because look, the teacher's jumping off the pirate ship.
Yeah.
There, all these neat things can happen around it.
Well, that's actually really, really neat. And I can see Abby swimming out of the alligator thingy.
Yes.
It's pretty neat. And like there are all the children looking and then they just run and jump. Sometimes I wish I could do that.
That would be fun.
Like when I just take a water hose, there are no taxes to pay or anything for the water, and then you just spray it all over the yard and you jump around it.
Yes. And I found a ship like that in a toy store for my grandchildren.
Well, then maybe you could sell souvenirs like that. I don't know. And maybe just add the little children and Abby and maybe make it a pirate playset.
Ooh, I like that. That's a very smart idea.
You can make it a playset with those tiny little thingies and they could be Lego and all sorts of stuff.
What a cool idea. Are you going to market them for me?
I don't know. I think I have to be a little older for that.
Oh, okay.
There are some children names mentioned in the back of the book. Do they have anything to do with anyone you know in real life, or are they just random names?
Well, Jilly is my granddaughter. Where is she? Here she is. And Ella is the little girl who lives across the street. And she would come over and help me with the book. I would read it to her and say, "Do you like that?" And she would tell me if she did or she didn't.
That's very sweet. It's really nice of you to include her in the book.
Well, she was a big help.
And I assume Abby was also your dog?
Of course. There she is. And the real Abby is, can you see it?
I can hear.
There. Yes.
She's so adorable.
That's the real Abby.
On page 14 and 16 of Drat That Cat, and also on page 18, there are really nice pictures of you. If you would notice, on page, there's no actually page number, but...
Are you talking about this one where I'm reading a book to a groundhog?
Yeah, and then there's a picture of you.
That's right. That's right. I'm reading the book to the groundhog. And look, here's a ship from Dogs Don't Go to School.
Oh, and it's actually a bookcase. How creative.
And then the authors of these books let me put the real book covers on them.
Yeah, I can see them, and there are more pictures. Lots of them.
Yep. There's the real Jilly.
And if you see in the very back here, there's a picture of Theo and Abby.
Exactly. Oh, you're so observant. Good for you.
Did you provide a lot of input or feedback during the illustration process?
I sat beside her.
Well, it looks like you enjoyed it very much.
I did. I worked with her on every picture. I think I drove her crazy.
So, are there any interesting or memorable experience from your own life, other than the little baby Bonnet and Abby and Gilly, of course, that influenced in some section of the book?
That influenced pictures in the book? Yeah.
That influenced like parts in the book.
I'm so sorry. Not in these ones, but in Say Please to the Honeybees, we have a place here called Fanshawe Pioneer Village. And it shows what it used to be like to live in the 1800s.
In the 1800s.
Fanshawe Pioneer Village. So all the pictures in this book, all the buildings are from Fanshawe Pioneer Village. So see these books? See these buildings, I mean? They were actually at Fanshawe Pioneer Village.
Oh, well, that's nice. And that's actually pretty cool how you can like convert it into that sort of way.
It's really cool.
And so, can you tell us the process of writing the book?
Well, I do not take notes. I don't. I have ideas in my head and I sit down and I start writing.
That's sort of what I do.
Yeah. Oh, so I write the story, and then there was a time when I was doing author visits. I told you I did them in the Caribbean, but I also did them in London and other places, and I did hundreds of them. So I would read the book that I was doing on my author visit, but then I'd take in my manuscript. When you have a book that you wrote, but it's not yet published, it's called a manuscript. And I would read it to the children. And they would tell me what they liked, what they didn't like. And then I'd go home and I'd change it, and then I'd read it again. And then you have to edit it again and again and again.
Bro, if we don't edit it again and again, then it's just going to be a piece of garbage that you wish you could change.
Exactly.
No offense, though. Seriously. They're still good, but you can always change it.
You can change it. So I try to make it that I don't want to change it anymore because I like it the way it is. So what do you think I do if 2 children don't like my book out of the class of 30?
I think there are always critics. There are always people who don't like the book. If the majority likes it, you want to keep it because
you're brilliant. That's exactly the right answer.
That's exactly the lesson my dad wants me to put in a book.
Perfect. That's exactly the right answer. What do I do if only 2 kids like it?
Only 2 kids like it. You're like, this needs work. We need to fix this.
I had to, one book I had to throw in the garbage because no one liked it. I thought I did it with my illustrator and we thought it was hilarious. It was a book about the author making the illustrator draw pictures. And it was sort of mean because I locked her in the basement, but I gave her cupcakes.
What?
Yeah. So the kids thought it was very mean, and Megan and I thought it was hilarious, but I couldn't.
I think those children in the classroom did not have a mind, and I don't think they were paying attention.
Well, we thought it was hilarious, but no one liked it.
At least 2 children were listening. That sounds hilarious.
That was the only book I had to get rid of. All the other books I just kept working on until they were perfect. But that book I didn't, even though I thought it was hilarious. Made me laugh. That is
hilarious, though. You locked someone in a basement with only cupcakes.
Until she finished my pictures.
True. That's actually really funny.
I thought so.
I think so too. And so, how long did it take to write the book?
For me, it takes me about 6 months to write a book because I keep editing and editing and editing, and then another 6 months about for the illustrations.
Well, that's a lot. But
maybe depends.
But let's say without the editing process, the first time you wrote it, how much time do you think that would take? The first manuscript without editing.
Like a couple of hours, I'm not sure. But I know how many times I rewrite my books. Sometimes like more than 50. It's a lot of work.
Well, I mean, at least it's fun.
It is fun. It is fun.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
So what message or theme do you hope young readers will learn from the book?
Well, with this book, there's no lessons. It's just funny. And this book, I hope people learn that they should spay and neuter their pets.
True. So if you could give one piece of advice to kids who want to be authors, then what would it be?
Edit your books. You cannot just write it one time and go, oh, I've done my story. No, you have to read it again and make sure there's no grammar mistakes or spelling mistakes, although I am a horrible speller.
Or you can just open Grammarly.
Well, yes, now I can Google, but when I was younger, there was no Google when I was your age.
That's really annoying.
Very badly in spelling. Oh, well. So now I use Google if I have trouble.
True.
And spell check.
So if you could travel back in time and give one piece of advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Don't get frustrated. Don't give up.
I think that is the best advice I've heard this hour.
This hour? You're supposed to say, in my life. It's the best advice in my life.
The advice of the day.
I like that. Advice of the day. That's perfect. I love your flowers, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes, if you had sent me somebody to do my wardrobe, I would have had a flower too.
You know, if I could reach through the screen and portal into there, then
It would look beautiful.
but also then I would pull those wardrobe guys with me and drop them off there and threaten to lock them in there until they come back with a nice one.
Oh my goodness. Well, if we ever do another interview, I expect a team on my door, a hairdresser team, and a makeup team, and a wardrobe.
You know, I should just send my mother. She's good at all that.
Oh, perfect. That would be perfect. I live a long way from you, though. Live all the way in Canada.
Oh, well
yes.
Then I'll use my teleportation spell. So what did you enjoy doing for fun?
I like gardening and reading. I read
think reading is
all
obvious.
the time. And you do too. We are both readers.
I think if you're not a reader, then you're not an author. You're just someone writing a book.
Well, that's true.
You're just someone writing a book. You don't have the official title, an author. An author has to read to become an author. And if you don't read everything, at least read a sign on the doorstep that says.
I think we need to read more than a sign on a doorstep, but okay.
Well, then at least, if you're not a reader, then at least.
Yes, okay. That's true.
At least you have to read that. But I don't think my brother's never going to get anywhere near that. Well, I mean, I hope he does. But
I hope so too. How old's your brother?
He's 6.
Oh, you know what he would read? I have to show you this before I go because it's going to be Halloween. This is the Kit Kat caper. You know what a Kit Kat is?
Oh yeah, those are very nice. But also we can share with all 3 siblings without a fight.
No, we don't share our Kit Kat. Oh, ourselves. What's the matter with you? I love Kit Kats.
I don't know what's the matter with my parents.
If they say, "Can I have a piece, please?" You know what I say? Oh, fine, I'm not sharing. You know what this little witch does?
What?
She goes trick-or-treating and she says, "Trick or treat, chocolate is sweet. I need some to eat right now." Is that polite?
Well, I don't think she's really going to get any.
It's terrible. It's very rude. The neighbor says, that's very rude. And she says, you look very familiar to me. Do I know you? And there's clues about who is the little witch in the story. I can't tell you because then it would be a spoiler. There's the mother. That's me. There's Rachel. That's my daughter. There's Sophie. That's the little dog I told you I took on the schoolyard and nice snuggly with a bonnet on her head. And then somebody is sneaking around and you have to guess who that little witch is. You know what she says when they don't give her a Kit Kat?
What?
She says, candies, cried the disappointed little witch, taking them out of her goblin head. I don't want candies. Don't you have any Kit Kats? And then somebody gives her a Kit Kat and she says, oh, thank you, thank you. And she gives her a big hug. And then in the end, oh, she's running home and she doesn't look so little anymore. I'm not telling you anymore.
The Kit Kat caper.
Yes, I love Kit Kat.
That's probably going to be one of the first items on my to-read list because I haven't actually had a to-read list.
Excellent. It is a very, very funny.
Your book has officially been the first item on my to-read list.
Okay, excellent.
So you have the glory for a few days.
Yay! Now, here is my website.
www.susanross.ca.
Perfect. That is exactly correct. Yes, that is my website. It has all my books and how you can buy them. And it has sample pictures of the books and a description of the books. And all my books have a craft at the end. This one has spiders.
Bye.
All have a poem at the end. This one is spiders have been busy. They worked all through the night, spinning webs all over town for Halloween tonight. I didn't finish it because I'm worried we're running out of time.
Well, I think we are.
There you go. There you go. Yes. Well, we've been, yes, it's been 35 very enjoyable minutes.